are all the settings for the quiz. We still don't have any questions on the quiz. So those are all the settings and details. Once you go to questions, this tab here, so hopefully you're watching this as you're making your quiz and you can pause and go try it on your own and come back. Once you hit this tab for questions, I don't have any questions. So the good news is I'm going to show you how to make questions right here. The good news is once you've made questions, they always exist and you have a question bank. So you could go find old questions. So if you made a quiz for each day, then when it's time for review, you just can go find what questions you want to put on the review. So that's kind of handy. But it is a little time intensive to make a question, but they are stored. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a question real quick. New question. What I would say is make sure you name this, give it a name that reflects what the question's about so that you can reuse this question and find it later. So if it's about prepositional phrases, I don't know what those are, but English teachers do, I could say this is prepositional phrases question 1. Now, this is where things get kind of crazy. There are tons of different question types. I'm going to start with the basic one. Multiple choice. Now let me show you, I'm going to change gears, I'm going to show you what a multiple choice question would look like. So this is kind of a finished multiple choice question. They have the question, they have the answer, they can only select one answer, and then they move on. And that would be a multiple choice question. So if I want a multiple choice question like that, I select multiple choice, I type in my question, then I put in my answers. So if this question's about prepositional phrases, I don't know why it has numeric answers, but you just then, once you type them in, then as you hover over here, you could click on what is the correct answer. So you just get your options here to decide to mark which one would be counted right. The thing I love is right here, this is a decoy answer. It's not the right answer because I haven't marked it as right. I haven't clicked here to mark it as right. What I can do, this little box here, if I click on this, I can give them hints like you subtracted when you should have added, or something like that. I don't know why that, whatever tip, whatever feedback you would want to give a kid that said that bad answer, you could type it right there. That means you don't have to write it on every kid's page when you're grading them at home. The kid that answers this will see that tip when it's all said and done, and you only had to type it once, so that saves you tons of time and can be used as a great learning tool. Learn from your mistakes. If you did this, it's because you made this kind of mistake. The kids will get that feedback. Now, make sure that you update that question so that question exists. I still haven't saved this quiz, so you might want to save the quiz periodically too. So I made that question. I'm going to make another question. Give it a useful name. Let's try something different. Let's say you saw multiple choice. I'm going to now show you multiple answers. Multiple answers is a different question type. It's almost exactly like multiple choice. I'm going to show you a finished version. A multiple answers question is like multiple choice, but I can pick all the right answers. So this really messes with kids' brains. Maybe there's more than one right answer, and or maybe there's 3 right answers. So they get an option to pick as many as they think are right. So that the actual setup, you type your question, you populate your answers. The only difference is you can mark this one right, make that one wrong, and I can make this one right. So you just hover over and click the little thing to make it right. And of course you can still do your little tips for the wrong answer. You could be like, don't do that. Right, that one thing you said in class not to do and they did it and got this answer, you could have this pop up on their graded work. You did that one thing that we said not to do, and you can be as detailed as you want there. Now, so the setup of it looks exactly like a multiple choice setup. You just are able to click more than one right answer. Make sure you click update question before you move on. Let's make another question. I'm going to show you fill in the blank. Fill in the blank when you're done. A fill in the blank question, a student would see something like this, a question and a blank to type into. So that would be a fill in the blank. When you say that you want to do a fill in the blank question, of course you want to give it a good name. You want to type your question, and then once you've typed your question, all they're going to see is somewhere to type an answer. right? So they get this blank they could type their answer into. You could be nice and accept more than one possible answer. So if you wanted to say, I will accept 3, or I will accept 6 divided by 2, you could say both of those. Now, these are all right answers that you're listing, right? So there's not a way to mark it right. If you've typed it, it's counted as a right answer. So if you want to limit it to one right answer, you can do that. You can also, down here at the bottom, you can give them feedback for anybody that got it wrong. So that's what that red box is down there. If you click this, anybody that gets it wrong will get some helpful feedback. That's not helpful feedback, but whatever. So there's fill in the blank. I'm also going to show you matching real quick. I'm going to make one more question. Of course, true and false is pretty straightforward, and if you're a math person, numerical answer is what you want. It's better than fill in the blank because it's fill in the blank with a number that can only be a number. Formula question is real complicated. What you probably want, matching is another really popular one. In the matching setup, you type in your question, and then basically you have this matches with this. Now, right now there's only one thing, but you could say, I want lots of things that they're going to match. And you could say, this is the thing that matches with that. That is the thing that matches with that. Let me show you what that looks like when you're done. A matching question would look like this. So this is static, and then they have to pick the thing that matches with it. Now, I'm going to get this wrong because every kid always gets that wrong. But that's what a matching question would look like to a student, right? Now I'm going to stay in student mode. I'm a student taking this quiz. Notice one question per page. Multiple drop-down's a little crazy. I may do a video just on multiple drop-down. This question type is kind of crazy to set up, but if that's something you want, I'll make a video on that. Once I've answered all my questions, did I not answer question 4? Whoops. So they can, now, I have it set to allow them to navigate backwards, but you could turn that off. Once they're done, they submit their quiz. Now, the great thing is they get immediate feedback. Boom. If you have it set to let them see their answers. I got this wrong, and look at that. A student gets helpful feedback from you if you type that in. You don't have to write it on 100 papers. It's right there, and they get it in the moment as soon as they hit submit. That's really powerful for kids, in my opinion. There's all these things. This one was right. This one I got wrong, but I did not set it to show them the right answer. So if they want to take it again, they don't know what the right answer was. They just know that was something they struggled with.